Let me double check and make sure. Okay. Oh, good. There's 168 minutes on here.
Okay.
Plenty
We're
of
gonna
time.
use all of them.
You get to talk about a
It'll
dog's
still
purpose.
be shorter than this movie felt.
What do you mean? Now we know what a dog's purpose is.
No, we fucking don't.
Yeah, he said at the end of the movie, he said, I guess that's my purpose, to lick people and eat a lot of bacon.
We already fucking knew this. Didn't learn anything new.
Whatever, tree of life for dogs. It's nice to know there's now a movie, for some, like, cranky husband who's like, you know what all those Nick Sparks movies were missing? Dog to show up every now and then to fart and shit. Now some guy... It's just like, I thought it was bad enough when I had to go see Walk to Remember. Now the damn dog's taking me to Dog's Purpose.
You know the thing that would have redeemed this movie that I almost expected to happen at the end, when it goes full circle and he's back as a new dog with the original owner. Mm-hmm. If he'd found his own body, like the remains of the Old Bailey body, like, that's a familiar smell. I'm like, oh, what if he just digs up the bones and it comes full circle? He finds himself has a real existential crisis
and dry humps it. Yeah, I mean, look, the movie is I don't know, it's porn for dog lovers, I guess. The only person I'm sitting there watching this movie, and I'm like, well, I know one person I could recommend this movie to, Todd in the Shadows.
But could you?
Yes. I'm pretty sure they plagiarized a lot of his tweets in this.
It was like a bunch of pseudo-philosophical bullshit that didn't mean anything from the dog. Mm-hmm. The typical cutesy things that you would expect. And the most cliched dialogue in the world. It literally starts out, his first life as a puppy. Yeah. He gets caught by these dog catchers, and he goes, looks like that's it for you, and immediately dead. His
first death is less than 5 minutes into this movie. That's what this movie is. The dog keeps getting reincarnated into other dogs. So his first one is 5 minutes in, and then his second death isn't until probably halfway into this movie. So I'm sure you were like me in that you were
constantly waiting for the car to come around the bend and hit him.
Yeah, I'm sitting there, I'm like, I don't like feeling like this when I'm watching this movie. I don't like feeling like, is the drunk dad gonna come in and shoot him? Is the bully gonna run him? Is he gonna die in this house fire? Like, I keep waiting for something terrible to happen in the first half of this, and it doesn't. The dog just dies of old age.
Well, I think his kidneys shut down. It might have been he was old.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how much time passed. Maybe.
A fair amount, at least.
Maybe it was old age. But, like, I don't know. See, the dog dying means the movie is closer to the end. Mm-hmm. And so I kept waiting. Every new life, I was like, when is this dog gonna die?
Uh-huh.
And every time that it happened, I teared up every time because I was like, oh no, the dog. And it reminds me of my pets. And I'm like, And it's manipulative because I know this movie's a pile of crap. But every time I was like, oh no, the dog's dying.
It's very manipulative in that, like, it knows that you're going to feel sentimental whenever the dog is dying. And you do, because the dogs are cute. The dogs are likable to look at and everything. The problem with the dogs is I was sitting there annoyed, not because of anything the dog was doing, but because I wanted to duct tape Josh Gad's fucking mouth shut.
Hey guys, it's me. I'm a dog. I do dog things.
God. Oh, well, you know what? The audience liked it. The couple of people sitting behind us, whenever the couple in the 1960s are making out in the car, and then it just randomly cuts to the dog going, I feel like scratching my butt. the guy behind us, and the
I
dog's.
think he was laughing during a sad time too.
He was.
They made some joke, but it was supposed to be like a bittersweet joke. But he was still like, I'm like, what? This isn't the time.
He was laughing when the dog shit in the car, and when he was eating hot dogs, and when he realized he was reincarnated into a girl dog and didn't have a dick.
What? I'm a girl now.
Like, let me guess. Larry the Cable Guy fan? Just throwing that out there. So,
This movie was described as, and pretty accurately, Quantum Leap for dogs.
uh-huh.
If at the end of every Quantum Leap he died and horrible things happened.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, I don't know, it doesn't really seem like it's that great most of the time. The cop dog that gets shot.
Oh, I have plenty to say about that. But, like, yeah, the movie is a little like that, but also, like, Lassie Come Home, or the magic of Lassie, in the sense that Lassie gets separated from the owner that he loves, and then by the end comes back to that owner. If Lassie kept dying along the journey and was reincarnated into other dogs and just kind of happened to find the owner at the end of it. So much so, this movie's directed by Lassie Hellstrom. So it's directed by Lassie.
Well, and also, I guess it's not completely accurate to, like, Quantum Leap, and that most of the time there was no point to, I mean, the dog's purpose, like, it's what a dog's purpose is, like, having a pet and someone to love or whatever, but it's not like the dog does anything significant in their life, like, it's a dog, what a dog is to people, so it's not like specifically, it just feels meandering is the thing. The whole movie's meandering.
In the same way that, like, a Nick Sparks movie is, honestly, that really is kind of what this feels like. It feels like you're watching a Nicholas Sparks movie if you added a talking dog to it. Now, I know that sounds interesting. It's not. Like, not in this case, because maybe I'm just really narrow-minded when it comes to dog voices and things. I think dog voices in movies or TV shows should be, like, just a certain type of voice. Like there's an area of what they should be. Like Brad Sanders from Tequila and Bonetti, for instance. That leaps and bounds helps make that show. Or like the gruff smoker's voice that you're like, I just want to go outside. Or like a Brooklyn accent. Or even like a dope, I'm a dog, dope. Something like that. Not schmaltzy ass fucking Josh Gad coming in to say, I sure do feel chilly out here in my paws.
Well, it just makes it feel manipulative, the voice, and it has the feeling of a Hallmark movie is what it was, where it just feels like everything's sort of calm, and they're gonna say some sort of half chuckle things, but like very manufactured, like Hallmark. So I mean, it
well, here's how this movie deals with alcoholism. It has the drunk father and then the dog saying, boy, Dad's voice sure did get loud, especially when his breath smelled like that.
And they just go through the stereotypical drunk dad story. Like they don't, none of the characters have any particular layers to them because they're all cliched stories that you've seen before.
Yeah.
Just repeated exactly like you think, and every once in a while a dog's gonna say something. It's the dog's point of view of the most cliched anthology in the world.
The dog to say things like, I'm getting older now, so things are going a lot slower. I don't feel like fetching anymore. Guess I'm onto my next life now. What? I'm a girl. Oh, time back to drinking milk from mommy's teat. Josh Gad, shut up. Like, honestly, the simplest voice change would make this better. It really would. Like, yeah, it would have so many of the same problems we're bringing up about it, certainly. But just the difference of taking schmaltzy-ass Josh Gad out of this with his fucking stupid dog food commercial voice, unless it's like, okay, the dog food commercials you see whenever they're a puppy and they're like, I'm just a kid, I need kid dog food. Fuck off. But if it was like the Bacon Strips dog, oh boy, that would have made all the difference in the world in this fucking movie. Like, oh boy, bacon! They're giving me bacon!
It would have made the movie a lot more bearable.
It would have. It would have made it so much better. And there is 15 minutes of this movie when the dog's a cop dog, where it's if Tequila and Benetti were a modern day procedural, hence not very interesting. That's another thing about this movie, too. When it gets into the different vignettes, they're all kind of shot differently. And when it's in the cop dog part of it, it is shot like a modern-day procedural, even though it's taking place in the 80s or 70s at this point. It doesn't really look it. It looks like it's shot like a modern-day, like, NCIS
all of the
thing.
period stuff was awful in this, by the way. All of, like, the hairstyles and the way people spoke or acted, like, they didn't even bother pretending that it was the period it was supposed to be.
How about that male college student in the 1980s segment, who I'm pretty sure the actor they hired must have left the set, so they just replaced him with a 45-year-old fucking crew member and put a Jerry curl wig on him. The guy looked like Reginald Vell Johnson does now. Like, who is fucking... I believe that this dog is actually being reincarnated more than I do this guy is a fucking college student. That's ridiculous. And we watched Encino Man earlier, where fucking 30-year-old Pauly Shore is a high school senior. That movie made more sense than this.
Well, that was a better movie.
It is a much better movie than Dog's Purpose. This movie had no Michael DeLuise in it showing up to go, shush!
It really could have used a bully in this.
Yeah, well, it did.
It did. Have a bully
It did. They set the guy's house on fire.
He should have tried to murder him and then shush!
Shush! I love how the dog chased the bully, and the cops instantly knew this guy was guilty.
What are you running from, son? What's going on? The dog knows there's something going on. Immediately confesses.
Immediately
he could have
confesses.
Gotten away with this.
Because clearly the dog would have pointed him out in the court of law if this went to trial. So when the dog's a cop, the dog does get shot, and it reminded me of how much better it was in Tequila and Benetti when Tequila got shot, because like when Tequila got shot, it like it like fades into like the commercials, and it's like a pretty like kind of serious moment because Tequila just got shot, and Tequila survived in that, of course. In this, the dog dies in that scene, and the dog's laying there shot. But they have stupid fucking snowman Josh Gad going, I don't think I like this kind of shot. Like, fuck you.
Well, that segment's also significant because it contains the context for that clip that's going around. Of that dog that's thrown in the water. And people are wondering, by the end of that clip, if you've seen it, there's this controversy with it, where one of the dogs they were using for this movie, they're putting it in this water set, and it doesn't want to go in there, and then gets submerged at the end. And that's not part of the scene.
Yeah.
So that really does make it questionable about how the safety of the dogs on this film, at least for that scene, because most of it's not dangerous. It's just dogs.
No, it's just a dog running, fetching and doing.
But yeah, what happens in that scene is the dog just rescues her and then goes to shore. So that wasn't supposed to happen. So
yeah. I didn't see that video. I mean, I can't. I can't attest to what happens in it. I've not seen it.
Well, the thing is, if my view is, if you're going to use a dog in a movie, and for stunts like that, it's not going to go in rushing water like that. They don't want to. That's what a dog wouldn't want to do. But if you were training them, and what the trainer was doing was dipping them in the water, then bringing them out and trying to get used to it. So I could see why, even though the dog looks scared, this is still how you would do it.
Yeah.
But by the end of the clip, the dog gets submerged, and they quickly call cut, and it ends.
Yeah.
So from like the ending point, I don't know if they thought through how well this stunt was going to go or how safe this dog was going to be. So I can see how it started, but it gets questionable near the end.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, I mean, at least they didn't. This is not Cannibal Holocaust, I guess.
No, I'm pretty sure the dog lived.
Or Milo and Otis, or
oh god,
at least they didn't blow up a horse like in Heaven's Gate.
Yeah. So yeah.
I've heard that's a controversy going around. I haven't seen the video.
Yeah.
it didn't sound like something I'd want to see, honestly.
I mean, the dog doesn't... I don't think the dog got hurt. And I think they probably got him out of there pretty quickly. But, yeah, it's... I mean, like you said, they didn't... They didn't, like, blow up or shoot the dog or throw him off a cliff, so there is that.
Well, if they did, you would have had that one jackass show up in the comments to say, yeah, well, the filmmakers used the dog's meat to feed someone afterwards, so that makes it okay.
Whatever.
Whatever, Ted Bundy.
We just got a bunch of fictional animal death instead, which is oh so entertaining.
DoesTheDogDie.com is not gonna like this movie. Yeah, the dog dies every 20 minutes. God. I kind of started getting a little more invested when Dennis Quaid showed up. Maybe because I just like Dennis Quaid. So I'm like, okay, well, Dennis Quaid's there. I like Dennis Quaid a lot. And I was starting to get a little more interested at that point. Problem is, that's the last 20 minutes of the movie, so whatever by that point. But I was sort of like, okay, I'm kind of curious to see how the dog will convince this owner that he's his reincarnated dog from the 60s. I have some things about this, though. Like, when he realizes that it is Bailey, I was like, okay, well, that's fine. I figured that was going to happen. It kind of shows that in the trailer. But, so at this point, this is like the day after Dennis Quaid marries the woman who was his high school sweetheart back in the day, but then they split apart, and then they got back together because of the dog. And some of that I thought was kind of sweet. Like, yeah, it was cliche as shit, but like, and overly sentimental, but I was like, I'm at least kind of invested in this romance, mainly because it's some of the better acting in the movie.
Well, and it feels like it matters more because it's the main people, so you don't feel like he's gonna die and move on. Who gives a fuck? Right,
yeah. So he does figure out that it is Bailey at the end, but it never shows how he explains to his new bride, like, how does this Okay, he figures out that it's Bailey, and he gives the dog Bailey's old collar, and then it cuts, and he and his wife are playing with the dog, and then it cuts to directed by Lassie. Really? So, and then, so I'm like, did he sit, like, his wife down the day after they got married to say, oh my god, Bailey has been reincarnated into Buddy. I am now going to give him my dog's old collar. And there has to be a passing thought in this woman's head, like, have I made a mistake? Is Dennis Quaid a fucking madman that thinks his dog's been reincarnated?
I don't know. Apparently he was living alone on a farm for his whole life. I mean, like, how sad is it? He's like, I didn't get college football scholarship, so I went to agricultural college and then spent the rest of my life alone. Like, it's not over because you didn't get a football scholarship. Get a fucking life, you loser.
He was waiting for his dog to come back. That was the dog's purpose.
Couldn't wait for that dog to die every time. I was like, you annoying fucking dog.
Well, yeah, but I wasn't waiting for, well, I mean, I was waiting for the dog to die, because I was like, alright, this has been on for about 15 minutes, when's a safe gonna fall on the dog or something? But I was never wanting the dog to die out of annoyance, because I knew the dog would still be back. It's a movie about the dog being reincarnated, so I'm like, it doesn't matter if he dies, it's still gonna be stupid Josh Gad yucking it up like a chucklehead, doing the worst fucking, like, America's Funniest Home Videos narration over this dog.
It was the Planet's Funniest Animals guy voice.
Yeah.
Or like the Funniest Home Video animal version they did on Animal Planet. That guy sounded like that.
Yeah. Going around saying, I'm gonna go play with the cat. Cats are only mad because they just wish they were dogs. I'm gonna teach him how to be a dog. Okay, here's my thing.
Smokey the cat got shortchanged as fuck.
Yeah. That cat does not want to be you, dog. Here's the thing. So this dog's giving this cat shit. You know what, dog? At least the cat's not stupid enough to eat gold coins and go in the trash and eat his own shit. At least the dog knows where, or at least the cat knows where to take a dump. You fucking egotistical ass dog.
The movie makes this big deal out about Bailey and how important the dog is, and the dogs around him have importance too. Like, he has a girlfriend at one point and stuff like that. But, like, the cat, they don't give a shit. Its life doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
The cat, the rest of its life, he's tortured by this stupid dog and then dies, is buried in the yard, and they have the gall to have a comedy bit where the dog digs up the cat and brings its corpse inside. End scene.
Yeah.
Hilarious. The guy in the audience laughed at that, and I was just sitting there like, ugh. No, that was a life. Okay, if you're gonna say, like, this dog is so important, you can't be like, oh, it's funny because it's dragging the cat's corpse around.
Because this is a movie that's obviously written by that kind of dog person. Not like somebody who just prefers dogs over cat. Like, look, I'm a cat person, but dogs are still lovable. I don't hate dogs. But yeah, I am a cat person. This movie is written by that kind of dog person who thinks that cats are they just stand there and hiss at you and attack you. And like the kind that just likes seeing bad things happen to the cats, you know? It's written by that kind of person. Like, they're putting a cat with this family, but the family never pays any attention to this cat at all.
Yeah, it's all about stupid, precious Bailey coin eater shit dog.
The cat's just there so the dog could chase it and then do just stupid bits where the dog is talking down to the cat. But again, I'm like, you know what? This cat probably lived a longer life than some of your lives, dog. You know? At least this cat knows that you don't fucking knock over a hot dog stand and try to pick it up by swallowing the hot dogs and then upset your stomach and shitting all over the car. Long story short, the cat's much smarter than Bailey.
all of the other segments of it being so short made it just feel endless. The segment in the middle where he's Bailey. And maybe if they started with that instead of the, like, one that dies after 5 minutes, and it would have made more sense if it was like Bailey was its first life, and then it's sort of, if they'd had some sort of conclusion to be like this was its last life or something. Otherwise, it's like, so does Bailey's, like, essence continue on forever till the end of time?
I think it does, only because of that opening prologue where he was the puppy for 5 minutes who got put to sleep at the pound.
Because if it was like, maybe this wasn't all dogs, maybe it was just Bailey, because he had to help out his owner. He had to help Ethan in the end.
Yeah.
And then his purpose, the dog's purpose, was fulfilled. He can move on to the afterlife instead of this dog purgatory where he continues to live lives out, including bad lives.
Yeah.
The last one he was on started out where he was just owned by a couple of shitty owners. It's like, well, how many of those is he gonna go through? It was just, like, shitty people.
Yeah, what if he ends up with, like, fucking Michael Vick? Like, I don't like where this movie's going, because, it really should have had an ending where he again dies and then goes to dog heaven or whatever. I still love the fact that by the end of this movie, Dennis Quaid realizes reincarnation is a thing. But anyway.
Are you the boss dog? Boss dog, Bailey!
Boss dog!
It's Bailey! So, no other dog could catch a football like that or chase its tail, Bailey.
Yeah, it's gotta be Bailey. I mean, it is, but yeah, clearly this means that way I'll know when Lloyd passes on and I get, like, another cat shows up at my door 50 years from now, if it wakes me up in the middle of the night. Lloyd? Lloyd?
Are you full of pudding?
Lloyd, you full of burgers! Lloyd, you are full of pudding! I love you, Lloyd number 37. I've gone through many Lloyds at this point in my life.
They're very disposable.
like Snowball #2 on The Simpsons. But yeah, I never thought at the end of this movie that like this is his final life. I just thought he's gonna die again. He's gonna get reincarnated into another dog.
Then he's gonna have a real existential crisis because like Ethan's gonna be dead.
He's gonna die
at some point, and then he's just gonna be like continuing forever with other people.
Unless he goes back and finds one of his previous owners or something like that. I don't know.
Continues forever.
Yeah, because even when he's in between young Dennis Quaid and older Dennis Quaid, when he's in between there, it's not like it's like his mission to find Ethan again.
Yeah.
Like he just sort of has accepted that he goes on to different lives, and then he still loves the owners that he's with. It's not like it's one of it's like a homeward bound thing where he's trying through all these lives to get back to Dennis Quaid. He just happens to come across him at the end of the movie.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, if there's no end, why was there a beginning to this either? Like, when the dog was first born, it had to have been like 50s or 60s, and then had a short life, and then came back again. So why was that the beginning of his life, if this is a perpetual cycle? It just doesn't have a set of rules, so it just...
The movie would be a good prank to do to somebody, to edit like 20 minutes of Cujo into the middle of it and just add stupid Josh Gad's voice into it. Like, oh boy, I love going for rides in cars. Is that the mom from E.T.? Wow.
For a little bit, I wasn't convinced this was originally intended as a dog reincarnation movie. I was like, did someone just want to do like a dog anthology? And then they were like, oh, let's tie it together somehow.
Yeah.
Until it was like, okay, he came back to him.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's like, I don't know, it doesn't seem like there's a point to a lot of it.
For a movie that has the word purpose in the title.
Yeah, a dog's purpose, it turns out it was what you thought from the beginning. There was no secret here. And it wasn't anything like profound or new or interesting. It was like, all right, it's a dog.
It'd been hilarious to see Terrence Malick direct this. This pretentious ass dog movie. Mother, brother, son, I am my father's keeper. Whatever, Terrence Malick. You just had Josh Gad say that. I don't know about that. Like, it's... I was mainly just kind of not interested as this movie was going on. If you're a huge dog person, I would probably be like, yeah, okay, like, you might think it's cute or something like that. And normally I would have if it were...
You still gotta watch bad things happen to dogs, is the thing.
You do, and you have to put up with Josh Gad's chuckle and fucking voice through this. Ugh. So I don't think it's... this movie's like it's a Netflix movie, honestly. Like, it's like, I don't know.
It felt like a religious movie with no religion.
Kinda, yeah. Because it is kind of shot like that.
It felt like a Pureflix movie or something for dogs, but there was no religion. The
cinematography was a bit more ambitious than a Pureflix movie. At least this movie looked like they might have had a crane.
My favorite was the 80s segment, just because I like the 80s, and the corgi reminded me of like my parents' dog, and so that was cute, and that was the least depressing one. It was just a happy fat dog had a girlfriend. The ending was depressing, but all of them are, because it dies by the end, of course. But
how come my girlfriend dog's not coming back? Maybe I'll go hang out at the pizza shop and wait for Philip J. Fry to come back.
That was a more meaningful and sad thing than this. The Futurama episode.
It was.
This is just manipulative. I don't know if I'd really recommend it to anyone, just because I just didn't care.
If it's something that seems like you might be interested in, I would say, like, wait for it to come on Netflix. I guess if you also have a bunch of pictures of dogs around your house, I mean, maybe, like, I don't know. Again, like I said at the beginning of this, Todd might like this movie.
What is a dog's purpose? We don't know the dog's purpose. They have the secret of the universe within them.
It would be worth it for him to see that, too. Just, if he doesn't like it, for him to go on Twitter and say how much they've gotten the purpose of dogs wrong.
50 years from now, Todd's gonna be like, Amy Dog? Are you Amy Dog? Amy Dog! I found you again, Amy Dog! You're such a squish bug!
Todd, that's a rat you're holding. You should really put that down. It's really clawed up your hands. We need to get you to the hospital.
He's reunited me with my lost love. It's really not what's going on, Todd.
That's a sewer rat.
50 years from now, Todd has some problems.
We need to talk, man. I will get you another dog. Stop picking up rats.
Hey guys, I'm a rat.
Hey guys, I'm a rat.
I've been reincarnated now.
Just hanging out in the sewers. It's awesome. Oh, ate another turd.
I want to see a cat's purpose now. It'll be Lloyd, voiceover like,
my owner wants me to go over to him, but I don't want to.
Kevin Spacey voicing the cat.
yes.
9 Lives TOO.
I would rather watch 9 Lives, to be perfectly honest, than this
9
movie.
Lives was a better movie than this.
Yeah. This movie
there are
is...
better dog movies, too. This is just depressing.
There are much better dog movies
That's why I
than
wouldn't
this.
really recommend it to anyone. It's just depressing.
Yeah, it's not bad enough for me to be like, for me to just say, like, fuck it, necessarily, but it really is more so just one of those, like, if it seems like you might be interested, just wait for it to be on Netflix. If you're not interested in any of the advertisements for this movie, you're not gonna like it, because the advertisements are a good representation of what this movie is, including, like, Josh Gad's misplaced fucking voice. So, alright, I guess that's my final thought on it.
Yep.
That's a dog's purpose. We learned nothing. Just watch Tequila and Benetti, or Puchinsky, or Doghouse. Watch any of that. It is better than Sherlock Dog. At least I don't think this movie may have secretly been made by pedophiles. Say it.
That's a good note to end on. Bye.